as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Welcome to Technocracy News, Patrick.
Wow.
Every American wearing a wearable in, what do you say, 3 years?
4 years.
4
That's
years.
right. Yeah. What do you make of this? I mean, here's a guy who kind of was going to get after the big pharma companies and maybe get rid of the red dye or something in food, whatever. But all of a sudden, he's talking about a key technocratic agenda.
Yeah.
To make everybody, or encourage everybody to wear some type of a medical collection device on their body.
And I would be surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a video out there of him talking about the harm of wearing these things with the radiation and stuff they put off. Because I know he talks about cell phones radiation. So these watches and stuff definitely put off radiation as well. And I'm sure he's talked about that before.
Probably so. Apparently that's all out the window as well. This is a cave. This is a cave in to technocracy. Period. End of subject. It really is. And we see, for instance, Noah Harari talking about technology that goes under your skin, and to the purpose of collecting all information about your body. All of this information is uploaded then into the cloud. There's not one single vendor of a wearable device like Fitbit or Apple Watch or the Android watches. They're all connected to the internet. They have to be. So every metric that you have recorded on your device, that's going to be uploaded to the cloud, and somebody's going to get their hands on it, and it's going to be part of the stream of information that gets fed into AI. And of course, they say, well, we're not going to get identifying information on you. Of course, that's what they all say. But there's so many ways to re-engineer the data once it gets out of your watch or whatever. They know exactly who you are. And this is stunning to me that he would make this type of a statement. Stunning.
Yeah, and it's not just about these things have GPSs in them so they can track location and movement, but they also monitor all your health data as well. I mean, some of them surprisingly how in detail they go into.
Exactly. This article, by the way, gives some specifics. This article was written by the Bregans. That's Peter and Ginger Bregan. They basically hit the nail on the head, I think. But they talk about, yes, there's location data always associated with the medical data, and you can see the maps and the tracings of people's activities, like the one they just showed right here. That was cross-referencing. Let's see, Google Maps to identify CIA black sites in whatever that name is. I can't get it, but this was apparently somebody who was running a track or something, and all the data was sucked into the internet and her location data as well. And here it is. Here it is. So how can anybody think that that's a good thing? You know, It's just absolutely crazy. Look at that last one, the tan map at the very bottom there.
This one here.
Yeah, this was an interesting observation in Yemen, right? in the desert, in the stinking desert. There's somebody had a device fitted, obviously, and they were either running in a circle or they were in a car making a patrol, something like that, and their activity was traced on this map. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
I know, it's like, okay, this is the most dystopian thing I can imagine.
And a lot of
And
them
you-
as well, now you can pay with these things too. I know the Apple Watch, you can put your Apple Wallet on there and you can make purchases with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's not necessarily connected to your health data, but it could be. When these type of applications get installed, it either like a smartwatch or your Fitbit device, it asks you up front if you're okay that it's going to be connected to the internet. Well, duh, it has to be connected, because if it's not, you won't get any information that helps you with your health. It has to have the two-way feed. And in the meantime, all your location data goes with it.
Yeah. So what's the biggest
By
thing
default.
they're pushing for here? Is it the location data, you think, for tracking?
No, they're both important. They're both just as important.
Mm-hmm.
Location data as well as the health data. I did a major presentation this weekend, by the way, on the topic of One Health. We're going to discuss this, I think, not this time, but next time. One Health is a program where the ecology is merged into human health. So everything is considered on the table as far as like relating animal health, ecosystem health to human health. They're desperate to get the human health aspect collected. And this is exactly what this is all about.
Yeah.
And if they can get that, they'll wrap it into this crazy scheme called One Health. This is all over the government at this point. The several government websites talk about One Health, and so this is a very important part of it. But the location data is also important, because your health data is in relation. Let's say it could be coordinated and tabulated against your location data.
Mm-hmm.
Where did your heart attack occur, for instance? Where did you have your exercise routine? What gym did you go to, for instance? How long were you there? How many calories did you burn? What machines? Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, and a lot of them are also calculating. I don't know if you've heard of like the rings that people will wear, but they're even tracking down to stress levels, like how long you were in certain sleep, when you're going to get sick. It will tell you when you're going to get sick. It will tell you, watch out, you're about to get a cold.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty crazy.
Exactly. And they're all connected to the internet.
Yeah. And all that data is being stored somewhere.
Yep.
Wow. Do you want to
feed the beast? Feed the beast.
You want to tease the next article before we go to break?
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right. The next one we have is full stop. The Trilateral Commission has erased its Blackmailer-In-Chief, Jeffery Epstein.
I really want to unpack this article. This was written by Michael Snyder. And there's a lot of articles talking about what just happened with Jeffrey Epstein's records and stuff. Rightly so. I want to unpack this point by point. There's 12 points in here that he makes mention of. However, I'll tell you from my experience, this smacks of a takedown by the Trilateral Commission to erase all memory of Epstein in the first place. And I'll read this whole intro, I think. But the fact that the Trilateral Commission had Jeffrey Epstein as a member in the first place, he had no other thing that he could contribute. He wasn't like a policy wonk or anything like that. He was a technocrat for sure, and he was a transhuman for sure. But as a member of the Trilateral Commission, what use was he to the Trilateral Commission? Well, he was basically the Blackmailer-In-Chief for that organization. And I think that they've lowered the hammer on everybody in sight to say, crush it. Whatever you do, I don't care what you do with it. Crush it. I don't want to ever hear about it again. And so, in the weight of all this evidence that's been already revealed about Epstein, people are just scratching their head. How could our government be so corrupt at this point that they could just sweep this whole thing under the carpet without a whimper?
Yeah, especially when they've been out there talking about the thousands of videos and files that they have sitting on their desks ready to release, and then they come out and they say, "Oh, there's nothing. Case closed."
Exactly. Let's pick this up after the break.
All right, we'll be right back in just a moment.
True beauty isn't applied. It's nourished from within. Bella Grace Elixir, a luxurious, scientifically crafted blend designed to restore radiance, vitality, and strength at a cellular level. At the heart of Bella Grace Elixir lies cat's claw, a powerful herb from the Amazon known for its ability to control inflammation and protect collagen. With Verisol collagen peptides, it goes beyond the surface, stimulating your body's natural collagen production to reduce fine lines, improve skin elasticity, and promote real, visible change. Bella Grace Elixir doesn't stop at collagen. It includes astaxanthin, one of nature's most powerful antioxidants. 6,000 times stronger than vitamin C, astaxanthin protects your skin from harmful UV rays and environmental stress, while locking in hydration and promoting a radiant, youthful glow. Experience the power of nature with Bella Grace Elixir at melissahousebg.com. Discover the science behind Bella Grace Elixir at melissahousebg.com. Read powerful testimonials from doctors and real customers who've experienced life-changing results, and explore other wellness products from Bella Grace. Bella Grace Elixir is more than just a product. It's a solution. Visit melissahousebg.com today.
Welcome back from the break. We left off talking about this article here on technocracy.news. Full stop, the Trilateral Commission has erased its Blackmailer-In-Chief, Jeffrey Epstein. And this has been probably the biggest story the last week, or at least the weekend, where the government has now come out and said that they're not releasing any more on Epstein. They basically said there's no victims here. No one was affected.
Yep, and all of those underage girls that went to Epstein Island on his airplane that is called the Lolita Express, right? And all those people, the dignitaries and the mucky mucks that went there to have sex with underage girls. There's no crime committed here.
Yeah.
Give me a break. You bet there was.
But then why is Ghislaine Maxwell sitting in jail right now then?
Yeah, she'll probably be suicided at some point.
Yeah.
I fear for her life, honestly. why they were arrested the way that they were in the first place is just still a mystery to me. But, you know, when you look at the scope of crimes that Epstein was involved with, it makes Ghislaine look like a piker, you know, at this point. Obviously she was involved in it, but by comparison to what he did, why would they even be interested in her? Other maybe just keep her quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they threw the key away on her, I'm sure, and she'll never get out of prison.
Well, you wanted to go over these points. Do you want me to start on the first point that was made in this article?
I really do, and I want to make the connection again. This is about the Trilateral Commission. Jeffrey Epstein was a member of the Trilateral Commission, period, end of subject. This is the most important connection in his life, and I'm certain that everything he did vis-a-vis blackmail was done on behalf of the Trilateral Commission. Uh-huh. He has no other purpose of being there. He wasn't any kind of a policy wonk or an academic or something like that. No way. The only value he brought to the Trilateral Commission was he understood blackmail. That's what he used his whole operation to do, to keep people in line.
Yep.
So yeah. So anyway, this article does a good job of breaking this out for us. For instance, number one thing is why were Epstein's and Maxwell arrested and charged with operating an enormous sex trafficking ring that supposedly involved thousands of clients. That was a term they used along the way. All these clients that were part of the sting operation, if you will. Now they say there's no clients anywhere. How does this play? It's incredulous. Number two, why did the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi tell Fox News in February that Epstein's client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now to review, close quote? What did it exist or didn't exist? This is a major conflict here, obviously.
Yeah.
How about number three? What was in the thousands of documents related to the Epstein case that were suddenly discovered in February? That's not talking about either. They won't talk about that now, apparently. And when you say thousands of documents, that means most of them probably had more than one page, right? That's kind of implied.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking thousands and thousands of pages of documents related to this whole thing. Where'd they go? Who read them? Has anybody read them? Or were they all shredded or something? We don't know. Number four, when Bondi claimed that the Epstein flight logs, some of you have seen those over the time, she said, it'll make you sick. What does that mean? Well, you see the names of people who flew on that airplane, Epstein's airplane, the flight logs. This was what has to be recorded by the pilot of the airplane. That's the requirement that they have to make a notation of everybody that was on the airplane in the first place. Well, it made her sick, she said. That's what she said back then. Number five, Bondi confessed that there was tens of thousands of videos related to the investigation. What was in those videos? Crickets. Apparently, crickets.
Yeah.
You undoubtedly, if you compare the content of the videos to the flight logs, you're talking all of the world leaders, the corporate leaders who got sucked into this whole thing in the first place. There's put it this way, every act that they committed on that island from the time they got off the airplane was recorded, videoed, and stored offline. Where are the videos now? Well, nobody's listening. Nobody wants to bring them up, and nothing to see here. Give me a break. Number 6, other than Epstein and Maxwell, why hasn't anybody else that was involved with the sex trafficking operation ever been arrested? Do you think anybody else was involved along the way? It's just 2 people, really? And certainly not like the prince of the royal family in England. Not him. He never got arrested. But how many people were involved with underage girls? That's a big one for sure. You could say, well, if somebody was over 18, maybe you can't say, well, maybe they're prostitutes, but nevertheless, there's sex trafficking going on there as well. Well, it is all basically probably a big crime scene at that point. Okay, number 7. The memo that was released on Sunday night says that there will be no further disclosure. Does this mean the Trump administration's search for the truth ends here? That's exactly what it means. That's it. No further disclosure. This smacks of the Trilateral Commission operation. It really does. Number 8, the memo also states evidence. There's no evidence that could predicate an investigation against the uncharged third parties. Does this mean that none of the men that were having sex with underage girls will ever be brought to justice? That's exactly what it means. See how corrupt is this whole operation?
Yeah.
And then that it could involve or spread its net over all of the FBI, the Department of Justice, and everybody else that has touched this whole thing along the way. It's involved them now, and they're involved in the complete erasure of the incident from the get-go.
Yeah, and President Trump, who this morning was in a cabinet meeting, and one of the reporters brought up the Epstein files, and he seemed to get pretty mad about it, that it was a waste of time to be talking about Epstein. You want me to go ahead and play the clip here?
Go for it.
Sure. Your memo and release yesterday with Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah. He really ticked,
I mean, it's what his base is screaming about online, and he's getting mad that reporters asking about it because they're covering it up.
Exactly. How about number 10?
Yep.
Hours of video footage from outside Epstein's cell on the night when he died has been released. Did they really think that we wouldn't notice a full minute has been cut out of the video footage? You can look at the timestamp on the video. We won't do it here, but you can look at the video yourself. Just click on that the link in the article, and sure enough, from 11:59 to 12:00, there's the missing minute, and this is all they released, and that was an explanation on why or how he committed suicide. Okay. Was Elon Musk perhaps involved in this somehow, because he has maybe some access to some stuff at the Justice or maybe the FBI. Maybe he ran across some stuff. He made a couple of swipes against Trump and his involvement with the Epstein case. Who knows? He probably will say something at some point, perhaps. How about number 12? Was this memo about Epstein case released to the public late on Sunday night on the 4th of July weekend? Really? Were they thinking maybe that it would just kind of be smoothed over? No. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, we're all out of time. We'll have to pick back up on this Thursday and go over some of the other stories we had coming up here. But you got anything you want to say to close this out?
No, I don't. But we're going to figure its case closed at this point, and I'm sure that the Trilateral Commission has nailed it down completely. We'll never hear it again. Everybody's going to deny they have anything to do with it, and all the documents have been missing now or whatever, and you're not going to hear any more about it.
Yeah, we'll never get a client list or anything like that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're out of time. We'll be back on Thursday with another episode. Until then,
yes, we will.
Take care. And good evening. Good evening on this July 8th, 2025, Worldview Tube's Washington Report with our man in the nation's capital, Jim Paff of the conservativecaucus.org, the conservativecaucus.org. Hey, we got some good news tonight to share with you. Yeah, we got a Supreme Court decision. U.S. Supreme Court, 8-1. To allow President Trump to cut the federal workforce in any department he chooses. Only one holdout. Yep, Justice Ketanji Jackson. Only no vote. But got some good decisions recently from the Supreme Court. Joining me now on this and so much more is Jim Paff. Hello, Jim.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing well.
What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's actually, and keep in mind, there could still be some litigation that would come on this, because what the court made very clear is that the president has entire authority to make plans for reductions in force and for removing things. And also, there's no requirement that he hire anyone. So there was also a hold on his freeze of hiring in the federal government, where he's excluded the DOD and public safety type things. So this is a big win, because it finally we have recognition from the court, temporary though it may be, to allow a presidential administration to be run by the person we elected.
Shocker.
And this is really good news. We've been suffering under judicial tyranny for many years, but so much so through this administration.
Okay, so I'm going to deal with it tonight with Roger Stone, Leo, and others. But the big news, of course, in the MAGA world is President Trump today scolding a reporter saying, "Can we stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein?" Your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, his base is just going crazy over this.
Yes,
A combination of, hey, we support him and we think that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are going to do what they said they're going to do, to I don't